We had two last outs, one of which was expected, one of which was completely out of left field. Jean-Kevin Duverne went to Al Jazeera in the United Arab Emirates. He was one of those players who was unhappy that he wasn't played in the role and position he wanted to last year. He wanted to leave, so I said, sure. We got a little bit of money off of him. Then on the last day of the transfer window, Juve came in, made an offer for Isahaku Abdou Fatuwu. And I said no. And the locker room went nuts. And so I went back and I offered exactly the same thing that they offered the first time around, and they jumped at it. So he is on loan. They're paying his full contract. They're paying a monthly fee of £91,000, an unused monthly fee of £165,000, and a future fee of £32.5 million, which they're going to pay. It's mandatory. The loan can't be terminated. He can play in cup matches, so it's possible we're going to be playing him in the future should we get out of the Champions League. We brought him in for 27 and a half. We're going to end up selling him. I think the total sum deal is going to be 51 million, give or take. Once you take into account all the money we're getting from the loan fees and everything like that. He is one of the unsung next generation, almost a wonder kids from this year's save. He's a very good young player. You can get him for a song. I mean, Dnipro 1 got him for £20,000 out of Ghana, and they didn't have to do anything with regards to a youth contract. He's a very good center mid. He's a very good advanced midfielder. He's very good on the right. He's also a capable striker. Just for whatever reason, he didn't perform up to my expectations, and that could be because I was expecting too much from him. If you look at his career stats, he had some very nice seasons for us. 25 appearances, 4 goals, 8 assists, 2 players of the match. 25 appearances, 7 goals, 5 assists, 4 players of the match. 3 goals, 2 assists, or 3 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 players of the match this season. He was well on his way. I think, this season and last season were when Juve really took an interest in him, and he absolutely jumped at the chance to go, which is kind of annoying because we're growing as a club, we're growing in stature, we're growing in reputation, and it's just annoying that we're fighting this. Exceptional academy coaching, exceptional youth recruitment, state-of-the-art youth facilities, superb training facilities. The stadium's old, but it's definitely more than capable. The overseas affiliate is doing us really well, especially with Hristolovkov and a couple of the others. I don't see the club. Oh, the club reputation here is continental. Maybe that's what's kind of holding us back, because I bet if we checked out Juve, they would be international. So, but I know we rose in the club rankings. So this says we have a worldwide rep, and we are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In 14th place. Real San Sebastian's just behind us. Milan and Roma are behind them. Real San Sebastian, that's Jose Mourinho's there. Okay, that kind of explains quite a bit. But we got a worldwide reputation. We have 4.5-star reputation. Or a rep rating. I'm not quite sure what that is. Reputation rating. So, I don't know. I would have thought he would have stayed, to be honest with you. The season's off to an okay start. We beat West Ham in the Community Shield. We lost to Tottenham 2-1. We then beat Man United. Esposito, a brace of goals. Fatuwu, a brace of goals, one of which was in extra time. We beat Chelsea 2-1 thanks to a Samuel Ricci goal in the 93rd minute. We completely FM'd them. We beat Chelsea. Well, we were beating them 1-0, and then Samuel Ricci scored in the 93rd minute to make it 2-0, and I thought we were okay. Then Pulisic scored in the 94th minute. So, I suspect if there had been a 95th minute of the game, we would have been FM'd, and this would have been a draw. And then against Brighton, Conor Gallagher, a brace of goals, and Esposito, a goal. This was a solid match for most everybody. The only problem is that now it's literally 3 days later, and we're playing Inter. So I don't have the best squad. Let me move this back over to the right here. So if we go to team selection here, and then we go to pick without restriction, pick best 11, they're going to put Fatuwu in there because he's on loan. What we're going to do is bring on Adamarola, and then we're going to put Hannibal up top at attacking playmaker, or advanced playmaker, rather. Check the health of everybody. Stockbridge is gassed, and he's wanted now by Chelsea, and there's no way on earth I'm selling him to Chelsea. Ricci's upset because I didn't sell him. Part of me says, dude, I tried selling you, but, you know, at the same time, people have to want you. And we're going to bring Francisco on. He likes to be a deep line playmaker, though. Can I switch him and Ricci? What does Ricci like to be? Ricci likes to be a deep line playmaker. Or Mazzala. You know what we're going to do? We are going to switch him and him. We're going to make Ricci and Mazzala on attack. So we got Stockbridge, Joel Tizier, Gallagher, Clark's on the bench, Pulido's on the bench, Admiral's on the bench, Sola's on the bench. I need to get my own players out because they're clogging everything up. And Inter's got, this is gonna be an interesting game. I'm hoping just for a solid result. This is not their first teamers, but it's still a very good squad. Nubel over to Di Lorenzo, back to Nubel. He hits it forward. Natan picks that up out of the air, holds it up, gets it to Francisco. Francisco feeds Ricci. He gives the ball away to Barella. Back to Nubel, who lost it forward again. Natan heads it down to Ricci. Francisco gives the ball back to Barella. I'm sensing a theme here. Ruggieri to Ocampos. Back to Ruggieri. Barella. Ocampos. Traore. Across the field to Skriniar. He holds it up. Gets the ball up to Pedro. Pedro goes to Laturo. Commentator's right. Safonov didn't have a chance. That is mildly annoying. Laird on the throw-in. Tonali, Francisco, Hannibal, over to Ricci. Back to Natan. To Francisco, dispossessed. Francisco gets it back. Grigoris sends it all the way back to Safonov. Ricci ends up with the ball. Esposito. What a horrible pass that was. Rapidori to Laturo. Absolutely. It didn't go in. Wow. It hit the post, hit the other post, and was rolling on the line. It didn't go in. That was insane. Ruggieri to Ocampos. He breaks left. Gets the ball back to Barella. Ruggieri loses the ball. Laird, Tonali to Ricci. Over to Natan. Back to Tonali. Francisco. Hannibal to Ricci. Goes for Esposito again. What is that? Laturo feeds Raspadori, but Safonov is there. Rolls it to Grigoras, who just bombs it down the field, and the highlight ends. What the hell is this passing from Ricci? Laturo, long across the field to Pedro. Pedro centers it, knocked away. Hannibal heads it up. Barella's there. He's challenged, but Ocampos ends up with the ball. Ruggieri, Raspadori was offsides. Okay. I was guessing when I said he was offsides. Frankly, I was just kind of hoping he was offsides. Nubel, Di Lorenzo, over to Skriniar, up to Pedro. Pedro loses the ball. Natan to Francisco. Again, over the top. What is that? Laturo driving left. Barella. And he scored. What the? What is with my guys trying to loft it over everybody towards Esposito? That's... right before the half, too. Well, I yelled at the guys. I told them to get their act together and, start playing football like they're meant to. Everybody was fired up. And, of course, now we're almost 60 minutes into the half. There's been no highlights. We've had 11 shots, 4 on target. They've had 6 and 3. I'm going to bring Ricci off. I'm going to get Hannibal off and bring on Gallagher. Get Zagadou off and bring on Tizier. Leaves Tonali on the field, but I'd much rather have Tonali on the field. Barella, looping kick in. Bastani hits a header, but it goes right. Laird on the throw-in. Doku back to Laird. Crosses it in. Doku. Esposito's there, but he hits it right. Ball's knocked away there. Game's going to end here soon. Ruggiero. Raspadori back to Ruggiero. And that is the game. I'm not a fan of that. Natano was on a 6-1. Zagadou was 6-3. I don't know what the heck Francisco and the others were doing. That was frustrating. That was frustrating on several levels. I was going to play the Brighton match. No, I wasn't. We're skipping Leicester and we're coming back for Sheffield United. I remember now because I'm seeing Sheffield United there. So let me get here and save the game. And we're going to figure out exactly what we can do to get ourselves better. On the other hand, our under-18s drew with Inter. And Slepsis got sent off. Well, fun times. Okay, back in a bit. We ended up beating Leicester pretty handily. 3-0. Dan Zagadou had a goal. Josebo Sola had a goal. Jeremy Doku had a goal in extra time. They had a guy sent off in the 75th minute who was already having a horrible day. He was on a 5-9 when he got sent off. Everybody on our squad performed really, really well. Tonali had a great game. Zagadou was player of the match. Grugas had a great game. Safanov had a great game. 24 shots, 11 on target for us, 5 and 1 for Leicester. It was a quality performance. So I'm hoping we can take that into our game today. We're playing Sheffield United, who are back in the Prem. They've been kind of a yo-yo team, as you can see from over here. Second in the Championship, 15th, and then 17th, and then relegated, and then first in the Championship. So they're back up again this year. So they've had an interesting up and down since I've started the save. Slaviša Jokanovic is still the coach. And they've got some quality players. I mean, they have Mateta. We know how good he can be, from when we had him. He's a little bit older. Gedson Fernandez is still nice. Jake Cooper is a solid defensive center back. Trevor Chalobah is a very good defensive center back as well. George Baldock is a very capable wing back. I don't know about their keeper, Mark Travers. The name sounds familiar, and I've probably played against him a couple times in this save at least. But it's one of those cases where I don't want to take them not seriously. We're trying to get some sort of trophy this year. So it's the Carabao. The club doesn't really, the club management really doesn't care about it, but I do. So I started Clark and I completely forgot to look at his rating and his health. And I'm reasonably sure he's okay. This keeps resetting itself. 2 yellow cards, 2 minutes apart. Way to go, guys. I completely forgot to go over the starting lineup. So we got Safanov in goal, Polito, Tizier, Zagadou, and Natan as the defensive back four. Tonali, Ricci, and Gallagher as the midfielders. Esposito as the attacking midfielder. Doku and Clark up top as the strikers. Natan on the throw to Clark. Clark back to Ricci. Ricci to Gallagher. Gallagher feeds Esposito over to Doku. Doku feeds Esposito. Tonali takes a shot. Aonii? Doku sends it in. Zagadou heads it high and right. Tizier to Ricci. Feeds Esposito. Feeds Doku, who slots it past the keeper near post for his first goal of the season with us. No, that's his... No, he scored earlier. Why are they saying first? I wonder if they mean first in the Carabao. It's very nice passing there. Nice little touch by Doku at the end. Oh, Natan steps in front of that. Doku ends up with it again. Is he going to get a second? He is not, because Aonii had a very nice save. Tizier with a header, but it goes wide right. Going into halftime, it's been pretty much all us. The Doku goal in the 33rd minute comes on the heels of 13 shots, 6 on target. No woodwork hits. 1 clear-cut chance, 2 half chances. They have a possession advantage, but they're not. It's a minor possession advantage, but they're not doing a ton with it. Doku sends the corner in a kid. Tizier again misses right. Tofolo on the throw-in. Ayari back to Sorensen. Back to Tofolo. Sheffield United is pushing forward. They feed Bayless. Bayless holds it up. Gets it back to Sorensen. Sorensen takes a shot too hard. Mavididi can't get to it in time. Ends up getting it back to Discipio Ayari. Back to Gedson. Gedson tries feeding it in, but Natan knocks it away. Clark chests it down. Goes inside, goes outside, gets by one, crosses it. Esposito's there, takes a shot. He puts it in from the top of the box. That was a nice move by Clark. I spent an inordinate amount of time yesterday looking at my players and comparing them. And I am not quite sure why, but the star ratings I don't think are reflective of how good they actually are when you consider that I'm being graded, all the players are being graded against other players within the squad. And a perfect example of that is Jeremy Clark. I totally screwed his name up, didn't I? It's not Jeremy Clark. Polito on the throw-in. Doku heads it down to Esposito. He tries tapping it forward. However, it ends up at Sheffield United. Mateta can't get to it. Tizier to Ricci. Esposito. Doku feeds Jordan Clark. That's who I was trying to figure out the name. Mateta holds it up. Tonali dispossesses him. Esposito dispossessed himself by Gedson. Bayless ends up with the ball. He's driving forward. Gets the ball to Ayari. Tofolo sends it up to Mateta, who knocks it back. Tonali intercepts that. Back and forth between Tizier and Zagadou. Ricci to Esposito. Tonali up to Clark, who heads it over to Natan. He feeds Gallagher. Gallagher to Natan. Crosses it in. Clark's there, and he hits the crossbar. I guess they're not counting that a woodwork hit because it didn't go in. Only 5 minutes left in the game. I completely forgot about substitutes. And again, another header that goes over the crossbar. It hits the crossbar and goes off. And we win 2-0. 22 shots, 8 on target to their 9-4. A good solid performance by us. And we advance in the Carabao. That was a good win for us. Get the guys off the field here. Save the game, do a comparison, and figure out who we're playing next. We're going to skip Leon here. We'll play them on the back end. You know what? We'll go here real quick. So, Jordan Clark, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. And these are his attributes right here. And he's slowly improving in some areas. He's still got a ways to go, I think. He's got plenty of improvement left in him. But say we compare him with Joseba Sola. Now they're saying Sola is 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. And he's not as good as Clark is in some areas, and he's better than him in speed and a little bit in attacking. But for all of that, Clark is the better player. If you look at the spider graph. If you look at the attributes, again, for the most part, it tends to go to Clark's side. Sola is definitely better than him in a few areas, especially physically, but that's not to say that he's dominating him by any stretch of the imagination. We knew what Clark was going to be when we got him. We knew he was never going to be the fastest guy out there, but from a technical point of view, He's better than Sola. He's a better tackler. He's a better passer. He's got better technique. He's got better first touch. He's got better dribbling. He's decent at corners. He's got better determination. His leadership is better. His positioning is better. His teamwork's better. Yet somehow, Sola is 3.5 stars. Joseba Sola is 3.5 stars, 5 stars potential. Clark is at least as good as he is, and is still only 2.5 stars. So I think this is a case where I'm looking at players like, Ruben Polito is another example. So Natan is 3 stars. He's 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. If we compare him to Polito, on the overview, they're very similar. Natan's better in vision and speed. Polito's better in mental. Natan's and attacking rather. Natan's one better in technical. If you look at the attributes, again, it's one of those cases where this goes pretty much Polito's way. Yet he's still a half-star lower. This tells me if I was to look at their current ability, I would bet they're very similar. So, sometimes the stars lie, man. So we are going to skip to Zenit. Okay, our next match is going to be Zenit, and then we'll skip Southampton and play whoever we're playing in the Carabao Cup 4th round. Then we'll come back and catch... That's a big jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, we're going to switch this out a little bit. We're going to catch our Carabao Cup 4th round game, skip West Ham, and play Zenit here. And then we'll come back for probably Newcastle, Olympic Lyon. And by that time, we'll know where we stand within the group. So it's a few games between now and then, but I think that's going to work out best. I like to try and keep the seasons to about 8, 9, 10 episodes because it fits my schedule really well in terms of uploading 4 times a week. And so that works out really well for us. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to come back for our Carabao Cup 4th round match, skip West Ham, play Zenit. And we're going to come back to Newcastle and Olympic Lyon. And then assuming we're still in the Carabao, we'll keep going on with that. We got our FA Cup 3rd round match here in January. Probably pick up the Brighton game here because I like playing the Derby games. So probably Brighton and Watford. Or probably Brighton and a transfer window recap, assuming there is a transfer window. And then we will keep going from there. Only 3 games in May, 4 games in April, 3 games in March, 3 games in February. That's why we have 7 games in December. Spain just won the World Cup. Maybe Italy to do it. So what's going on this year? I'll be honest, I don't know. It's really kind of disturbing, but it's also disturbing the fact that it's 2:45 in the morning and I'm recording this. So we are going to call it a night after a very good couple of games. Things are starting to click quite well. Took a few weeks for the guys to gel together. The loss against Inter, that was annoying. We should have done so much better, and we just absolutely didn't. A part of me says the guys were not awed by who they were playing, but I don't know that we took the game as seriously as we should have. The Leicester one was nice. The Sheffield United one was very, very nice. So we are well on our way. Currently, because of the loss we had early in the season, we are in 4th place. But it's early in the season. A lot of time for this to shake out. So, a good episode for us. And if you did like what you saw and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is F. Angelico. I thank you for watching.